The film opens with a world full of witches and samurai inhabited in ancient Japan. The shogun was the highest-ranking samurai and general overseer. Any samurai who disobeyed the shogun became ronin. The 47 Ronin legend is based off on true events. Kai, a little boy, is running and trips into the creek face first. A group of samurai find him. The boy has claw marks on him and is identified as a half-breed, half-human and half-demon. Kai resists Oishi's attempt to push his face into the water and snatches his sword. Lord Asano, the leader, welcomes Kai to their province AKO. Kai grows close to Mika, Asano's daughter. Kai's half-breed status makes the samurai despise him. Years later, adult Kai, otherwise known as John Wick to others, is in the woods. A massive beast with big antlers attacks the samurai as they approach. The beast chases Yasuno through the woodland. Kai heroically stabs the beast's chest with Yasuno's sword. Kai, gripping the blade, is dragged till the beast dies. Kai returns Yasuno's sword, but he insults him because he's half-breed. Oishi slices the beast's antler as a token. Kai sees a white fox with gold and blue eyes from afar. The samurai return and Mika dashes to check for injuries. Her father knows who Mika is actually looking for. Mika finds Kai elsewhere with a back wound, takes a rag and starts to nurture it. Kai, however, understands they cannot be together because he is a half-breed and she is a princess. In preparation for the shogun's arrival and the samurai's tournament, rival provinces, Lord Kira visits AKO. Mizuki is his witch. Kai and Oishi's son Chikara discover Yasuno's milky eyes before he fights him. Kai goes in place of Yasuno and fights Kira's samurai in crimson armor and a mask. Kai loses the combat and loses his mask, revealing him to everyone. The shogun identifies Kai is not a samurai and is quick to sever him, but Asano stops the shogun from killing Kai, saying it's his fault. Kai is beaten unconscious. She creates a spider by breathing on purple fluids from Kira's arm. While Asano sleeps, she releases the spider. It bewitches Asano by crawling over his face and pouring liquid into his lips. Mizuki makes Mika scream for Asano. Asano witnesses Kira ravaging his daughter and wounds his back with his sword. Once the bewitchment wears off, other men subdue Asano. The shogun executes Asano for attacking unarmed Kira. He allows Asano to die honorably for his service rather to be hanged like a criminal. Oishi is told by Asano to protect Mika and maintain their clan. Asano's white robe funeral is held. Mika watches as her father cuts his stomach and Oishi decapitates him with sadness. Two women hand Mika a vial of poison to relieve her pain and distress, but she says AKO has not fallen yet. Before leaving, the shogun gives Mika a year to mourn before marrying Kira. He forbids Oishi and the samurai from avenging their master's death. Kira tells his soldiers to throw Oishi into the pit to avoid retaliation. Riku and Chikara rescue Oishi a year later. He is treated and told Kira will marry Mika soon. Kai is also a Dutch slave. Kai fights a giant deformed man when Oishi enters this village. Kai decapitates the man and is cheered by everyone. Oishi intervenes, implying another duel. After sword fighting, Oishi tells Kai Mika needs his help. Escape. Kai and Oishi assemble the remaining Ronin. They will revenge their master and send Kira to hell. Oishi instructs one of the Ronin to confirm Kira's occasional visit to his temple. He gives the rest a map and promises to escort them to a community with weapons. The Ronin visit the swordmakers in Yutu. They refuse to supply Ronin swords since they work for Kira. Kai fights the swordmakers with the Ronin and leads them to a weapon-rich area. Kai leads Ronin to Tengu Temple. He fled here as a child. He promises Oishi swords, but he must never draw his weapon. Kai meets the snake-faced Tengu Lord, his once master. He asks for the ground-stuck sword, and the instructor tells him to take it. While Oishi is with the other Tengu, he teases Kai about his childhood. One Ronin draws his sword and lets all hell loose. Oishi watches the Tengu assault his comrades without drawing his weapon. Kai battles until he takes the blade and nearly decapitates the master. Kai tells Oishi that they got their swords since he passed his test without using his sword. His men are protected. Mizuki enters a village as a geisha, a Japanese hostess. She seduces the ronin who is trying to confirm Kara's visit and bewitches him. Ultimately, the ronins were led to a trap by the bewitched and Kara's troops join Mizuki's fire attack on the ronin. The Lovecraftian samurai also kills and burns ronin. She escapes with Oishi's sword after killing most of the ronin. Kai and Oishi look after the ronin. Basho, an obese ronin, in his dying moment, admits to throwing stones at Kai as a child. Kai laughed and he said he could see his belly through the trees and recognize him. Basho dies apologizing. Oishi regrets not pursuing Kara. Yasuno apologizes to Kai for his contempt before the ronin make their final stand. He presents a sword and bows. They and the other ronin sign a scroll and brand it with their blood to honor their leader, Asano. "We are 47, Oishi says. A band performs on their way back to AKO. Oishi and the ronin are familiar from their earlier visit. Oishi requests aid. Kai and Oishi sneak into AKO with the performers as Kira and Nika's wedding begins. The remaining ronin climb the walls and kill Kara's guards to get inside. Oishi disguised performs. He approaches Kara before his men fight the ronin. Kara and Nika flee as the ronin fight back. Mizuki escapes. The Lovecraftian samurai attacks until a ronin bombs him. It blows up the big samurai. She attacks Kara with Mizuki's knife as Kara and Nika run. Despite her warnings, Kai maintains he is not afraid of her. She transforms into a gigantic serpent-like dragon and attacks Kai as he raises his sword. Kai sees Mizuki about to kill Nika, but he quickly uses his demon powers to take his sword and drive it into her brain. She turns human before dying. In another room, Oishi still fights with Kara and gets the upper hand. "Know now the extent of my master's courage," Oishi adds, holding a knife to Kara's stomach. Oishi displays Kara's severed head, ending the conflict. After avenging Lord Asano, the ronin visit his grave to let him rest. Oishi confesses to the shogun. He merely wants his guys respected for their activities. While their offenses warrant hanging, the shogun honors their honor in avenging Lord Asano. He permits honorable suicide. Kai and Nika spend one last moment before he dies. They swear to meet in the next lifetime. Ronin seppuku ceremony. The shogun rescues Chikara to continue Oishi's lineage. Kai and Nika exchange one last glance as he plunges the knife into his stomach. Later, Mika reads Kai's pledge to find her in her next world on a bridge. The 47 Ronin legend endured for decades. Hundreds visit the Ronin's graves on December 14 to honor them. Their story inspired the film.